triggers and spoilers.
We gotta do the thing.
We gotta do the thing!
It's very important. That means the beginning.
That is the start of the podcast. Welcome back. It's So I Saw a Movie. I'm Courtney.
I'm Jen.
And we're going to tell you about things that we saw. Last week, I went first, and we did Law Abiding Citizen, and you did Let's Start a Cult. This week, we are going to do Strange Days.
And Spaceman.
I went first last time. You go first this time. Sucker.
Yay! Am I right? Okay. So I saw a movie.
What movie did you see?
Spaceman, starring Adam Sandler.
Wait, really? I don't know why I didn't, see that coming. I only saw the poster. I know nothing about this film. Go!
It's an amazing film. I'm gonna, start real high up, and then I'm gonna work my way down.
All right.
You know?
All right.
Sexy.
I love it.
My handy notes. Okay, I started off the last episode with my kind of glazing of Stavros Halkias. Well, I mean, I love Adam Sandler. I love Adam Sandler. He's one of the funniest comics of our generation.
I agree.
Maybe not of my generation. Whatever generation the fuck that was.
Well, I mean, a lot of his stuff came out when I was a kid. But no, he's fucking fire, man.
He's so good. Some of my favorite movies of all time, one that really sticks out in my head is Little Nicky. I remember having that on DVD and watching it over and over and over again because, I wanted to be able to memorize it for when I got bored. It's one of those kind of kids. So, all those dumb Adam Sandler movies, they're my favorite. And now Happy Gilmore 2 is out, and that was a banger. Go see it, for real.
I have to.
You got it. It is so funny. Unbelievably funny. Let's see here. So, I love Adam Sandler. I also love Click. Shout out to Big Joel. I know he hates that fucking movie. What's the problem? Literally, so, it's a classic Adam Sandler. It's, sad. It's funny. You haven't seen Click
the
yet,
one
right?
with the remote?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not seen that.
Okay.
You can count on me to not see movies.
I love that about you, truly. I'm so serious. Some of my favorite movies, I got to show her Little Nicky.
Yes.
It was just...
Oh, that was so much fun.
It's a good one.
It was so silly.
Adam
It was
Sandler.
so silly.
Can we just have a moment?
R.I.P. Ozzy.
Oh, for real. For real.
Hashtag
Bite his freaking head
That
off.
was amazing.
It's fucking awesome. So back to Spaceman. I love when... So, of course, Adam Sandler's known for his really funny, really dumb movies, but he's got a soft side. He's got a sweet side, just like any kind of... Anyway. This movie, he wanted to have, an introspective kind of thing.
Okay.
And I want to have a callback to Uncut Gems when he... Well, I probably shouldn't say that, because he's had a lot of movies that were sweet, romantic, kind of like Punch Drunk Love is another one, Wedding Singer is another one, where they're silly in their own right, but then they're also kind of deep and introspective.
They were cold.
Spaceman, I want to say it's got that classic element. It has a little bit of silliness, and but it's mostly introspective. It's mostly dramatic, and I really like that. I really like when Adam Sandler breaks out of these, silly
Just
movies.
silly business.
Just silly
yeah,
movies. Yeah, which I love.
I mean,
as much as the
yeah,
next
for
guy.
sure. But it's nice to be dynamic. I mean, I feel bad because Regina Hall, even in the last episode, I was like, she's only silly. Sorry. That's such a disservice to the actor. And in Adam Sandler's case, he does directing and producing and all of that stuff. It's such a disservice to be like, he's the funny guy.
Right. I feel the exact same way. Everybody has multitudes. We all contain layers and layers, just like an onion. Shout out to Shrek. But seriously, you have to go see this movie. I'm gonna explain it, so spoilers, but honestly, stop the fucking podcast right now.
No, seriously, there's always going to be spoilers. It's not safe for work. There's going to be some triggers sometimes. We are the worst.
We are
the worst. So we're episode 2. Get used to it. Don't get gone. Keep coming back. Just get used to it.
And I just wanted you to know that, of course, I'm gonna spoil this. But I'm so passionate about this movie that I do recommend you go and see it before I ruin it. So, just FYI.
Just take time out.
Okay. So we start the movie with this guy named Jacob. And it's really like Jacob with like a Russian accent, because it's basically Russian. It's basically Czech. I'm not okay.
I want to try it so bad.
Oh, you can.
Jacob.
It's exactly like that. It's perfect. That is perfect. I'm not. Please forgive me. I am not politically correct when it comes to these kind of like Euro, Russian, like Czechoslovakia and Russia. I'm not nuanced in the differences, so I really do apologize. But because this is supposed to be about the Czech Republic, but everybody's got like that accent. I'm so sorry. I'm really okay. Anyway, moving on. He is a lonely spaceman. He's actually out in the cosmos exploring an area called what they call Chopra. Okay. And it's this big rip in the sky that apparently you can see from Earth, which is what makes this really interesting. So, of course, they're very interested in getting the research from this area. So, Jacob is out there collecting particles of Chopra, which I find is very interesting. So, he's like a really, what's the word? When someone is like well respected in a military field, like not delegated, he is decorated. Thank you. He's a decorated astronaut. He's like the best of the best, and that's why he's out there. And he's out there alone. This movie really like examines loneliness, human loneliness, when you're alone and when you're with other people. So I really enjoyed that part of the movie. So he's out there, he's alone. He does have a wife, and his wife is currently pregnant. And his wife's name is Letka. So he calls her on... I can't remember. This is bad. I can't remember. Jen, this is for you. I'm gonna cut that bitch right there. Pull this up.
We're taking a time out to research information. No time out. Gonna look into Spaceman.
Okay. So he talks to his wife through this very intricate system that she has in her house, and he has this in the spaceship, and it's called the Czech Connect. So it's a fancy phone that he just kind of calls up whenever he wants to talk to her. Well, he hasn't heard from her in like a really long time, and that's because she's trying to leave him. She's really upset. She feels very lonely. She's pregnant. She goes to her mom's house because she doesn't know what to do. It's what pregnant women do. It's like, I gotta go see my mom or whatever. And so he tries calling her, and he's not hearing anything, so he's obviously worried. So he's got a guy that he talks to. His name's Peter. He works in the space station. So when Jacob has a problem, he talks to Peter in this like little microphone thing that he wears on his lapel. And currently, there's a lot of problems going on in the ship. There's cameras going out. His toilet makes a weird like noise that's really annoying him. So, and they can't really do much about it because he's so far away.
Right.
They want the cameras to work because it's really important for them to document stuff while he's up there. So that is a bigger concern to them than his toilet. So it just kind of shows, he is kind of...
Fuck your humanity. This is for data.
This is for data, clearly. So, so he's a lonely guy, but he's so special because he can handle this. That is why everybody really speaks of him very highly. He's a decorated soldier. So he has check-ins that are like live media presentations of what he is doing up in space. So he's like an icon in Czech. So, so he talks to Peter. He's like, I got all these problems. And he also is like, can you check up on my wife? Because like, what's going on? So behind the scenes, Jacob doesn't know this. Letka sent in a video message leaving him, basically. And the space station doesn't want to send it to him because he's out there all alone in the middle of space. They're like, look, we can't do this.
Right.
So behind the scenes, they're actually working on talking to his wife to be like, you can't just leave him right now.
Yeah.
We understand you're upset. We understand you're pregnant.
Just hold on till the end of the project.
Hold on. But of course, from Letka's point of view, he has always done this, and she's supposed to be accepting of that. but he wasn't supposed to take this mission. He felt obligated to take this mission because it's basically what he always wanted to do. He wants to prove himself, not only to himself, but he's got some daddy issues, just to make a long story short. So he not only wants to prove this to himself, he wants to prove it to others and his, long gone father. So, of course, so she's feeling bad. She doesn't want to talk to him. She wants to leave him. The company's like, we're not gonna do that. So he knows nothing at this point. So at one point he goes out to collect particles, and he has to, get in the spacesuit. He's like attached by the umbilical cord thing, and it like shoots him out of the space lock, and then he comes back in. So it's a normal mission. But when he comes back in, there's a giant spider, basically. There's a giant creature in the ship with him, and he freaks out, understandably, especially when the spider starts talking to him. The spider starts talking to him, and he freaks out, so he puts himself in the airlock, he puts himself in the suit, and he's immediately thinking, do I tell Peter? Do I get Peter involved? Because the spider is talking to him. And so, of course, he's
And he can
isolated.
understand it?
Well, yes. Because it's English. But he's thinking he's going crazy.
What are the odds?
He's like, I'm isolated, I'm alone, I'm sad, I haven't heard from my wife.
Right.
I'm crazy.
Right. Clearly I'm going insane.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's like, do I say anything to Peter? Like you can see in his face the internal monologue. And he's like, hey Peter, can you like look at the camera right now? And Peter's like, no, I can't, because the thing is out. Wherever the spider was, that camera was out. Classic.
It's in the fucking corner that's not documented.
Right. Exactly. So so he's freaking out. Spider's there, he's talking to him. He decides, alright, I'll give it a shot. So he comes out of the airlock. He talks to the spider after some time. I mean, of course, he had to convince himself.
Well, I mean, it is a spider.
And the spider basically says, I'm just like you. I'm an adventurer. I'm an explorer. I like to understand things. And I just wanted to talk to you. I wanted to get to know you. You're out here all alone. I'm all alone. Why not? And so they start talking about Chopra. And basically, he's like, well, if you're gonna be here, you gotta be my buddy, So I'm gonna give you a name. And he calls him Hanush, which I think, fire name, really great name.
I love that. I think I'm gonna name every spider in my apartment Hanush.
You should. I loved Hanush.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, his character development is beautiful, magnificent. I love it. So he's just a giant space spider. And
is he like scary? Is he like creepy crawly?
He
Or is he
is.
just like Lucas the spider where it's like, aww?
No, he's creepy crawly. I think maybe if you like spiders, you might find him cute because he's kind of glossy eyed and he, talk. Once you hear him talk, so like if I could communicate with bugs here on Earth, I think my relationship with bugs would be much better because then we could talk.
I would ask them all to leave.
Right, you can ask them to leave. You can give them a corner of the area. Like there's so much negotiation to be had if things like that could talk.
No, yeah, you're right.
I would love that. I would personally love that.
That would do a lot for my arachnophobia.
Yes, it would solve a lot of problems for me. I
It
think.
truly would. I did notice that naming them actually makes it a lot easier to cohabilitate with them because I'm not gonna kill every spider. First of all, I don't want to get that close to them. But
I can't touch them.
I named them. The last one was Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Because I can't go near them. They scare me. I'm like, I see you. You see me. We're gonna just. All right, this is a big apartment. You are very small. We can work this out, man.
He smelled what you were cooking and he came right in.
That was the hope.
Yeah. So, Hanush, he's a cool guy. He's just trying to understand, and he can access Jacob's memories.
Oh, okay. So that's how he knew Jacob was alone, an adventurer.
Right. He could feel him, he could sense him.
What a
and
freak.
Then he got on the ship. Right. So he's a very feeling spider. And he's not, of course, he's not known as a spider. He's known as some kind of alien. I don't remember the name. And he comes from an area that basically got wiped out by a plague of space mites, essentially. So it destroyed his civilization. He had to leave. So he tells Jacob all of this. And because Jacob really only, I don't even know if Jacob asked. Jacob is kind of self-centered. Like, and you can tell that from his wife's point of view when she goes through her memories and he reviews his own. Hanush basically shows him how self-centered he is, like how his life has really always been about him, his goals, his visions, his desires, and so it's very introspective. So let's see here. So Hanush can access his feelings, his thoughts, and one of my favorite parts of the movie is he tells Jacob, he's like, your feelings, your memories make me depressed.
Oh!
I was like, damn. He straight up told him, I don't like looking at your thoughts because they make me depressed.
Jeez, whatever going on in his head, am I right?
Right.
Like...
Yep.
Yikes.
And he also, I love this too about Hanush, he doesn't like to be touched. Their culture,
respect.
The culture of, the race that he's from, they don't like to, what did he say? We don't like to disrespect the body. So, because he went to touch him, and he was like, no, it's boundary.
Good boundaries.
Hanush has amazing, beautiful boundaries. I love him so much. So much. So he gets to know him. And he's like, you should talk to your wife. And Jacob's like, I tried talking to her, she's not talking to me. And so he's like, accesses more of his memories, and he's like, oh, I clearly see why she's not talking to you anymore. Everything is literally about you all the time. And he's like, so your wife is pregnant and you're out here right now. Why? Thoughts? And he's like,
so Hanush is the best therapist ever.
He is. This movie is about
He's
therapy.
like, you're not gonna bullshit me because I see you.
Every man in a rocky relationship needs to watch this movie. Really and truly, because this is I'm sorry, like, not to be that guy, but I think this is a universal man experience. And I think that this movie was written by a man who, like, has been Adam Sandler has been with his wife for a super duper fucking long ass time.
Yeah.
So he knows the ebbs and flows of relationships. And I think that that's really what this movie is about. This movie is about loneliness, desire, and how all of that fits in relationships, because it's very complicated. And what I really think is very interesting about this movie is they talk about desire in the sense that desire is only something that you have when you don't have the thing you want. Because as soon as you have that thing, you no longer desire it because you already have it. Therefore, you don't appreciate it. So, and we do that a lot in relationships. And this is something that Hanush basically shows Jacob, that you come from a bad childhood, and yet you have a wonderful wife who loves you, deeply cares for you. She craves your connection so much that when she doesn't receive it, she has to pull away because she can't get her needs met. She's sensitive and you take her for granted. And I thought, whoa, I was like, wow. So Hanush clearly sees where he went wrong, and he gets mad at Jacob. He is like, you are not changing. So he spends a couple days with him, and he realizes, you're not changing. Right. You're not understanding what I'm telling you.
For a smart guy, you can't be taught, huh?
Yeah. My wisdom is wasted on you. Straight up tells him that. He's like, this is over. I'm leaving. And Jacob's like, no, please don't leave me here.
You're my only friend.
I need you. I literally need you. Please do not leave me. And he's like, you can't be helped. Bye. Yeet. Out.
Good boundaries.
And Jacob is lonely and sad, and he's upset, and he decides, you know what? He calls up Peter. He's like, go to my wife right the fuck now. So Peter goes to his wife, hands her the phone, and Jacob talks to her and tells her basically one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. I don't even want to spoil it. But in a nutshell, he tells her, I'm out here, and the only thing I want and the only thing I need is you. And I'm so far away from you right now. I cannot wait to be back there. So, as all of this is happening, or basically shortly after this conversation, particles start coming through the ship. So these like beautiful pink particles are actually transferring through the ship. And Jacob tries to capture it, but he realizes that these particles cannot be captured because they come through objects. They just permeate right through. So the plan that they had of him going into the airlock and taking this big net and collecting all these particles, it's not going to work. So that basically becomes a failed mission. So while he's going out and doing that, Hanush pushes himself out of the airlock and just goes out into space. And he's like, Jacob is like, why would you do that? You know, we made things better. I called my wife. I did the things you wanted me to do. We're friends now. Why are you leaving me again? He goes...
He didn't do it for his wife. He did it for him.
Well, he goes out, and Hanush is like, remember how I told you my entire civilization got killed by space mites? He's like, yeah. He's like, well, I kind of forgot to tell you I'm dying, and the space mites are going to eat me in like 5 minutes. So I decided to shove myself out of the airlock so you can get the particles and you can do whatever you want to do, and I'm just gonna go on and fucking die over here if you don't mind. So, and he's like, no, I'm not leaving you here. We're going to watch Chopra together. We're going to go through it. So, because the mission had failed, he is now detached from the ship.
Okay.
So he's free floating, right? And he's holding Hanush's little thing, and they're exploring Chopra together out in space. And Hanush talks about this is the end and the beginning. And of course, when he drops that knowledge on you earlier in the movie, you don't quite understand what he means. But as you travel through Chopra, as they travel through Chopra together, you can see you can hear people talking, you can hear people dying, people being born, everything. And he talks about how this is all of time, essentially, is in this area. And these particles are essentially moments that we all have, and that's why there's a million of them. And they can't be captured, they can't be held on to.
Oh, just like the moments that we all have.
I was like, this is cute,
smart.
this is perfect. So Hanush is literally dying, and Jacob thinks, well, I'm gonna die too. We're both gonna die out here together. And he's content with that. You know, he's no longer chasing. Because he's no longer attached to the
because
ship.
he just like doink.
He was like, I'm not leaving you out here to die alone. This was the lesson he apparently learned, is that nothing is more important than the people in my life. He realized that through Hanush.
And he wouldn't go return to the people in his life, but instead will die with a space spider.
Yep.
I don't think he really learned that lesson very well.
Well, yeah. And also, I mean, I just kind of feel like he may have, in his man brain, thought that her life would maybe have been better without him, like, after all of that.
Which, I mean, she came to that conclusion herself.
Right, exactly. So he was kind of like, you know what, we're just, hey buddy, let's do this together.
Pack it up.
Know? So, but the part I didn't mention before is that Korea is actually in the race of trying to get to Chopra. But because Czech got there first, doesn't mean they're not shortly behind. So Jacob kind of forgets about that, but long story short, they're coming to rescue him, so he's gonna be fine. But he's having this real moment with Hanush where they talk about like, they talk about how he never really asked Hanush much about his life. Like, he only asked him one question, and he was like, you're right, I was so self-centered. And he's like, now that I'm experiencing all of this, I wish I could experience it with my wife. It's almost not worth anything. That was his final realization. Another thing that they talked about in this movie was comfort. I'm a huge comfort person. I wouldn't even say hedonism. Everybody has, their plushies or their favorite foods, and that is such a universal experience. Like, no matter who you are or what being you are, like, even things get comfort of some kind, because the world is abrasive and lonely. So we find comfort in lots of different ways, and one of the things that they bonded on the ship was basically a jar of Nutella. And so before Jacob, Adam Sandler, threw himself out of the airlock, he brought the jar so that Hanush, when he was dying, could at least be comforted.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, he provided him comfort, and I thought that was one of the sweetest parts of the movie, because I was blown away. Now, long story short, he gets to be with his wife. Happy ending. Hanush is dead. That's not the happy ending. It's just, but it is what it is. Hanush is cool with dying. He's like, the end, the beginning. I belong here. Yada yada. I got to see it. I've always wanted to see this, and we got to experience it together, bros, and all that. Here's where I get so movie done. Jen, of course, does her thing. She goes on Reddit. People hate this movie. I don't understand it. Why?
I didn't even see it, and I love it.
I know. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get up on my soapbox, all right?
Well, I mean, that's why we're here, right?
That is why yes. And I have a lot of opinions. Clearly, you can see I may be jumbled but like I experienced this media, I feel like exactly how it was meant to. I felt it. I watched it twice. I love it.
From how you tell it, it feels like it spoke to your soul. Like
it truly did. Comfort, desire, appreciation for people. These are things that I've always been very passionate about. So this movie, I feel like, spoke to me as an individual. And then, of course, being in relationships with men, you see how selfish most of them are and how they live their lives. This really was a very beautiful, introspective moment. I still don't quite understand them, you know, like why they do these horrible things to other people. But it was, what's the word? It was relieving to know that that experience is almost universal. And that, you know, it's solved by therapy. That's what this movie is all about, fellas. You gotta go to fucking therapy. If you don't go to therapy, those thoughts just kind of roll around in your head and they get re-solidified in there and nothing gets done with them. You gotta talk to somebody. Because they're not normal thoughts. You know, nobody has... All our thoughts are kind of a little fucked up. You gotta go talk to somebody about it. So anyway, therapy... desire, comfort, all covered in this movie, all beautiful. I don't understand why people hated it. I guess they were like, oh, Adam Sandler, show me Happy Gilmore.
Right.
Boo!
He didn't tell any jokes.
Tomato. I fucking hate you people.
He didn't sing Love Stinks.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Why
people.
are you order?
I'm serious. This movie has like a 3.5 out of 5
What?
on Google.
No.
I don't understand. The oh my god. Hanush alone, 5. Okay.
5 out of 5.
And the visuals were good. The effects were good. The dialogue was amazing. The writing was amazing. The bones, everything was perfect.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, and I would understand a 4. I would understand, you know, maybe you got a very whatever. When I compare this to other space movies, a good one I'll use. Okay, you know where I'm gonna go.
Oh, you're gonna get mad.
Interstellar.
There it is.
Fuck you.
Oh yeah.
All right. This movie is. I don't even know it. If you were to put Interstellar and this on the same level, I would have to punch you in the face. Simply because Interstellar is about the world being terrible, and of course they go out and they're lonely because they're spacemen or whatever, and they experience loneliness. But they do not experience loneliness in the same way that Adam Sandler does in this movie, and that's simply because the world sucks in Interstellar. There's nothing to turn back to. You only have something else to look forward to. I don't even understand why they're so depressed in that movie. It's just kind of, you suck it up. It is what it is.
The dust storms, Jen. The dust storms. It did have a really good soundtrack, though. That's all I'll give it. That's it. There was a cereal box that had legs.
And I will let you have that, and that is fine and fair. But also Interstellar was fucking slow.
Oh
it
my
was
God, it was
so
painful.
slow. This movie got right to the point, right to the meat and potatoes. There was nothing else but just, it got right in there very quickly, and I like that. Are you fucking serious? Interstellar sucks so much. It was so depressing. This movie...
But Anne Hathaway. But Michael Caine. But Matthew McConaughey.
Another one I wanted to talk about was Gravity, with Sandra Bullock, okay? I would then... So I have a bad comparison. Interstellar is a bad space movie, in my opinion. Gravity is a better space movie, in my opinion, because Gravity is similar to this in where Sandra Bullock is like, she likes to be alone. That's why she likes space so much. She's a tough broad, and she's out there with fucking George Clooney, and her buddy dies, and now she's alone in space, and she's scared. She's scared for one of the first times. She's supposed to be a tough lady, and now she experiences fear and loneliness. Two things she used to, like, thrive on, right? So I could go and look at those two movies. Now, is it a perfect movie? No, I also thought it was kind of boring and everything. Spaceman is not that. So I quite honestly do not understand where this rating comes from. If I were to give it a rating, I'd give it a fucking 10 out of 10. No notes. I will not be entertaining any other dialogue other than this movie is good.
Wow, not even a decimal.
Not even. And fuck you if you think any different. That's it.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
I kind of don't want to go after you because mine is stupid comparatively.
I need a refresher.
Oh, well, I also got a dude
get mad.
movie. I got a dude movie.
So.
For sure. So, This movie apparently is like a fucking hidden whatever the fuck. Like, not a lot of people know about it or something. I don't know. There was an article on CNET or something that was like, oh, this is a hidden movie of the 90s that nobody talks about. And I'm like, all right, fine, fuck you, I'll talk about it. And like, to be fair, I watched it in 2 parts. My fella and I, we started it, and then we got halfway through and we're like, let's take a nap. Not because it was boring, just because like I can't be counted on to see movies. Like, so to really sit through one in my home is a task. Like, you know,
It's comfy.
right, I'm like, okay, night. Like, I'm a sleepy bitch. Like, I love sleep so much. If it was an Olympic sport, I would be the best. The actual best. Like, I'm not delusional. Like, I am amazing at sleeping. And I'm really great in that I disrupt those around me when I do sleep. So it's perfect. Like, I snore, so I'm like, haha, I got the advantage.
I cannot relate. I'm a bad sleeper. I'm, well, I guess I can relate in the fact that, like, I disturb others while I'm sleeping, for sure. But it's from screaming in the middle of the night. It's not quite snoring.
Night terrors, am I right?
What can you do?
So we watched the first half, and then when we started doing this podcast, I'm like, I need to finish this movie. Well, first of all, I was so into this movie, and I was like, all right, well, it's nap time, but I also want to know what happens, and I didn't know if we were going to revisit it, because we have like a handful of half-started films. So I looked up the spoilers, because I was like, I need to know.
Wait, you and your fella start movies and don't finish them? Multiple?
I'm a sleepy bitch.
I would, that relationship would not work out for me.
See, you could count on me to not see movies, though, so for me, there's no skin off my back. Like, I don't fucking care.
If you fell asleep during Spaceman,
no, I fall asleep during movies all the fucking time. All the time.
And not you. I'm saying if you're a man, right? This movie was for the man. You need to watch this. You need to watch this. I'll give you a backhand. You better wake up right now.
Why you wanna? Yeah, no. So we went sleepy bias. And I was so curious because like it left off like it was a weird stopping point. It was just like a good night. So I looked up the spoilers and I'm like, fuck, I need to finish this movie. And then we started the podcast. I'm like, I need to talk about this movie. So the movie that I'm talking about, I saw a movie. I saw it in 2 parts because I fell asleep in the middle. I also fell asleep in the movie theater during Shin Godzilla, and I'm pretty sure I snored. And that was terrible because there's no soundtrack. Well, there's like a little soundtrack to that movie, but it was like dead silent, and I am 99% sure I snored in the movie theater. And then there's a part and he's like, "We're everybody!" I'm like, "I am awake. Hello, I am everybody. Hi there. Why are you yelling at me, sir, on the screen?" I fall asleep during movies. So watched it in 2 parts, but it was hella interesting. So this movie came out in 1995. It was produced by, or written by, Catherine Bigelow. So we got a female up in this bitch. It does have triggers. The big trigger is rape. There is rape, there is murder.
Call back to the last one.
I'm gonna just be a little bit more upfront about it. That way, if you don't want to hear about it, you can be like, all right, fuck you, Courtney, I'm out. So I am going to talk about the movie Strange Days. Again, it came out in 1995. It's starring Ralph Fiennes, who is Voldemort. That is the only other film I know him in. Literally. Co-starring is Angela Bassett, who is Black Panther's mom. And she was in Boys in the Hood. And that's all I got for her. I'm sorry. And then there's also Juliette Lewis, who was in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And also Natural Born Killers. I feel like she did serious stuff. And there's obviously other actors and stuff, but those were the big 3 that I'm like, hey, I know who you are. The movie's set in 1999 during the last couple of days of the year. We're about to go into Y2K, so there's a vibe of the Y2K scaries, like, oh my god, the world's gonna end. Now I was 10 when it turned to the year 2000, so I kind of remember a little bit of those scary vibes. I was also, like, I was a kid, we did the New Year at home, but, like, we were all convinced that technology was gonna be, like, 0, no data, everything crashes. So, like, there was definitely, like a pending Armageddon feel to 1999 into 2000, especially as 2000 grew closer. So it's in Los Angeles in 1999, the last couple days of the year, and it kind of opens up. I don't remember the exact opening scene, but they're setting the tone with riots, and it's like a very dark, like a noir film. There's riots because a famous rapper and social justice leader was killed. So it kind of also mirrors the riots in LA from, I think, Rodney King's killing. So we have that. So like it kind of opens up as like, okay, we're uneasy about the new millennium or whatever. We're uneasy because this guy who is fighting for social justice just got killed, and he's a huge rapper. And then we get Voldemort. His character name is Lenny, but he's known as Nero. He is an ex-cop. I don't know why he was discharged, but he's an ex-cop, and now he sells this technology. The technology is called Squid, which I did write down. It's short for superconducting quantum interference device. My next note is #dumb.
#Elon.
#dumb. Squid kind of, there's a Squid device that does recording and a Squid device that does playback. They kind of look like the face huggers from Alien.
Okay.
But instead of going on your face, they go on your scalp because, it's got to get all of the electrodes onto your little brainy brain. And it just lays right on there. And if you know anything about getting a brain scan, because I've had a brain scan done, can you tell? Those things really have to get in there, but this just kind of like rests on top like a hat. And you can hide it under like a bandana or a hat or a helmet or fucking whatever. And so like you don't exactly know when someone's wearing one. So the person who's wearing the recording device, he has it on their head. You record everything. So you record what you see, like all of your senses, because it's recording off of your brain.
Right.
It's not recording off of a camera or anything like that. So you're recording what you see, what you smell, what you taste, what you feel. The wind as it brushes against the hair on your arms. Like all of your senses. And also how you perceive them. So if you're deaf, there will be no sound. And then the playback plays it back the exact same way. So you get another face hugger onto your dome. And it shows your brain the experience that was recorded. So Nero deals these things. So he deals the tech, and he deals the discs that they're recorded onto.
So that other people can experience that.
Exactly.
Cyberpunk literally took this idea. They were like, we're just gonna do the same shit.
So so it's big for like pornography, I'm sure, is huge because you could see first person point of view all of their fucking feelings. So when that climaxes, you're like, yes. So like there is all sorts of different like genres, and it's for everyone's sins and fancies. So we see our first one is a playback of a robbery of a Chinese food restaurant. But we see it from the robber's point of view.
Oh.
So you feel the adrenaline as the robber comes up, and then as they're pursued by the police and all of that garbage. So Lenny is buying that disc so that he could sell it to somebody else or whatever, and he goes through and he buys and sells, and he buys from his friend Tick, who sells out of this van in an alley somewhere. Everything is dark in this film. There is like zero light in this film, obviously, because it's the end of the world, it's dark, it's LA, there's 2 days, whatever. So everything's dark. So Tick sells this stuff, and then I'm trying to remember exactly like what was going on. We get like a cut to this woman being pursued by police. The officers were both familiar. One of them was the actor who was in Law & Order Criminal Intent.
Vincent
He was like
D'Onofrio.
the main guy in Law & Order.
Bushy eyebrows.
Sure. He was also in Men in Black. He was the guy that was infested by the alien bug. So he was only actually in Men in Black for like 4 fucking seconds. And then like some guy that looked like him in a suit with I don't know. It's a weird fucking movie. And then the other guy, I had to look him up because he was familiar. I'm like, he's in stuff. He was like the bank manager in like Batman Dark Knight or something like that. I'm like, all right, well, you got a familiar face.
William
but in any case,
Fichtner.
those 2 cops are chasing this woman And this woman is scantily clad, you know, as they do in 1999. And she's running. I feel like she was barefoot because I feel like I remember her being like, don't her feet fucking hurt? Like,
And
I
you heard,
would
like,
just,
the
yeah, like, I feel like I would just be like, yeah, you know what, just shoot me, it's fine. But they're pursuing her, they're like shooting at her. So you're like, what the fuck did she do? That the police are running after her shooting. She gets on a train. They try to get to her. They try to shoot through the window of the train. They can't get her.
Oh my god.
Like, it's crazy. It's chaos. I don't know how nobody reported it.
Is she black?
No. So you're really like, what did you do? Like, what did you do?
Because, I mean, you know, you wouldn't have to do anything. You just, you know, like just through the train, fuck everybody else.
I don't know how nobody reported it. I don't know how nobody called 911 on 911. Be like, there were some officers shooting at a train.
It's the future. The future sucks.
Well, I mean, yeah, like, so this movie was made in 1995, but it took place in 1999, so it wasn't even that far in the future. It was like, you know, us being like, all right, 2030, here we come. Like,
a lot happened in a couple years. Holy shit.
So she gets away. And then she goes to a payphone and she's trying to get in touch with Lenny. She knows Lenny. We're like, all right, why do you know Lenny? What did you do? Why do you know Lenny? She pulls off her wig and it had a squid. So she was recording everything.
Damn.
She can't get in touch with him. And then Lenny is out at this bar and he meets up with his friend Max, who is this big guy. He is also an ex-cop or a current cop. I don't remember. And his hair just kind of reminds me of a guy that stuck a fork in an outlet. It's just like
Doc Brown coded.
It's just like poof. Like, and he's like greasy, grimy. Everyone's greasy, grimy in this film. I think it was sponsored by...
No showers in the future.
There are no showers in the future. I think it was either sponsored by KY Jelly or baby oil. Like, I feel like they all just rolled around in that shit before they started filming. Like, yowza. So they're talking about like, oh, the end of the world is coming, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, he was like, hey, I got this new playback. And he was talking about like the Chinese food, whatever the fuck. And he is like, oh, you know, Lenny, that stuff is illegal. And he's like, yeah, you know, but I'm fine or whatever. And then his Mace comes in and she has a job that she's a person. Mace is, Angela Bassett's character. So she's a fucking badass motherfucker. I love her. She is a bodyguard and a driver. So she's like, I protect important people. So she comes in about to pick up a client to go to a club or whatever, and they're all talking. Max says that he saw Lenny's ex-girlfriend Faith at the club, and like the club has some like terribly unironic name. Like I feel like the late 90s, like adult, not like porn, but like grown-up films, they really tried to be super edgy. Like every club, everything, like you could even see it in the old Batman films, not the Tim Burton ones, the ones after it, the travesties, where like they go to these clubs and then there's like fucking like like it's really loud and everyone's got like fucking mohawks and leather jackets.
Oh, sexy.
And like they're sweaty.
It's punk rock.
Right, and but it's like so edgy. And like, you know, there are people cage dancing and they don't have tops on, so there's boobs.
Ooh, boobies.
Yeah, so like there's boobs. So like I don't know what the club was called, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was like S&M Depot. Like
Club titties.
Right, like club tits. Like so like it was probably something like that. So he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna get to my car or whatever. And he goes to get his car and his car is towed. Now before this happens, we see the woman who was running trying to find him slip a disc into the top of his car, like into his sunroof. So there's a disc in the car from this lady that we do not know anything about, except that she was being like aggressively pursued by police. And then his car gets towed. He has no knowledge of a disc being in his car. He has no idea. No fucking clue. So he's like, but my car, I'll offer you this Rolex. And he says this throughout the film where he keeps trying to offer someone his Rolex. It's not a real fucking Rolex. So he's like, I could do this as collateral, because he's probably got like 40,000 plastic Rolexes at home.
Just like,
yeah, exactly. Like, and it doesn't work because the guy's like, dude, you can't even pay your car. Like, when are you gonna pay me? Like, what? I don't know. So that gets taken to impounds. And then they go to the club and he sees his girlfriend there. Now, I'm the worst storyteller in the world and I refuse to look at my notes because, as you can see, It's the entire script of the fucking film. So before this, we see Lenny use a squid to relive a past memory. He and his girlfriend, Juliette Lewis, are rollerblading on probably the Santa Monica Pier or someplace in fucking LA. And it's sunny. It's the only sunny scene you really get. It's sunny and they're so happy and they're so great and they're having such a great time. And then they go back to his place and then you see him in the mirror and he's got a bandana on. So it's like, does she know she's being recorded? So there's definitely ooh, we got some voyeurism in here. Anything to be edgy, right?
Yeah.
It's 1995. Let's be
Right.
edgy. And then they have sex. So he's reliving himself having sex with his girlfriend. And at first you're kind of did she die? This is sad. And then you find out she didn't die. They just broke up, which makes it infinitely sadder. It's like, wow, you pathetic, pathetic man. So they go to see her at this club, S&M Depot. And you go through and it's just I don't know. It just gives really shitty sex club vibes. Maybe there were people lined up to get spanked or something.
Like in SpongeBob.
Yeah, exactly. And so they're walking through and he goes to the sound guy and he gives the sound guy is in a wheelchair. He gives the sound guy a disc and the playback machine to experience with, or I think he has his own playback machine. So he gives him the disc and the disc is of someone running on the beach. So there are nice experiences too. Because he hasn't been able to run because he's in a wheelchair. So he had, right, it's just kind of hey, there's some salt in this wound. You want to squeeze a lemon in that cut? But it was well intended. It wasn't look what you can't do. It was just right. Remember when you could do this? But he it's a guy running on the beach, and then he takes it off. He's like, oh, Lenny, someone left a disc for you. So there's a disc in an envelope, and he just takes it. He puts it in his coat. And then he goes to see, and his girlfriend is a performer. She's a singer. I mean, it's a rock singer. So it was really more a croning kind of sound that came out of her mouth. She's not it's not the voice of an angel. It's just fucking girls and rock.
Dilly dally.
Sure. But she is fucking dunked in KY jelly. I don't know how she's so greasy. Her hair is it's stringy. It's stringy, but it's not
we're sweaty in the future.
Right. But it's not hot. When you do your hair with mousse and it's crunchy stringy. It was just stringy. And she's in this dress and it's so edgy. This dress is so edgy. It's a chain dress.
Ooh.
And she's got nothing on underneath.
Of course.
So depending on how you look, it's bink, bink. Here's my nips. They play peekaboo, and it's just kind of that's not distracting at all. I'm straight.
That dress is cold.
Right? But also, wouldn't it hurt?
Yeah, it'd be
could you imagine, even men, you got nipples too. Could you imagine having, chain against that all the time? For a whole evening, and then performing like that, and just be ding, ding, ding.
I think I'll just be naked.
You might as fucking well. So she performs, and then he goes to see her after she performs, but she's with her boyfriend, who's this big time producer, and he's also very greasy. And he keeps wearing these shirts that are open, and his just chest is hanging out. This guy's got a certified villain voice, 100%. It's super scary. I don't know why. I feel there was a cartoon in the 90s that a lizard spoke like that, and the lizard was bad. I don't know if it was All Dogs Go to Heaven. I don't know what it was. But, I was that's that guy. It's not. It's probably not. It's definitely not. He was in stuff, too. I don't know. I looked him up. There's a note. But, for the people who see this, my notes, they can't be gone through.
I love how you and I are just opposites. I've got, nothing on here. I got character names.
I wrote the script. It scrolls. Yeah, no. I do have character names, but I disregarded almost all of those. Oh, I do have a notable quote, but I'm gonna get to that in a moment. So we got bad guy voice as the boyfriend of Juliette Lewis, who is Voldemort's ex-girlfriend. So they go to talk, and then she's like, Lenny, you can't be here, get lost. And then he's like, okay. And then he leaves. I don't know if it happened this easily. Again, I'm not even gonna look through this fucking shit. But then he goes outside and he gets kicked out, and then he goes back in because he really just cannot stay away. And we're like, my guy.
This is sad.
It's so sad. And so then he gets kicked out a second time, and he's like, all right, I guess I'll call it a night. And then he gets in Mace's car or whatever, and he watches the playback of the disc that was given to him by the sound guy. And it is a first-person point of view of a man, I would think it's a man, I mean, he had big hands, breaking into a hotel room, walking through it, going out on the balcony to go to the next hotel door over, breaking into that back slider door, sneaking up on this woman, and like I got pretty upset. And so he sneaks up on her, he's like grabbing her by the throat, and then he drags her into the bathroom and throws her on the floor, and she's like, stop, I'll do whatever you want, I'll give you whatever you need, whatever. She's like pleading. And he ties her to like the towel bar, which was apparently cemented into the fucking wall. And he takes a playback squid and puts it on her head. He blindfolds her, so she has to see his point of view. She has to feel his point of view. And then he rapes her. So she has to feel it herself. She has to feel it from him. She has to contend with her fear and helplessness as this is happening. And like, rape is like the worst thing you can survive. Like, really. I mean, I'm sorry, war people, but like
war
it's I mean, that's really like those are fucking terrible
they
things.
Go hand in hand.
Like seriously, it's awful. So this all happens, and then he strangles her to death. So she also got to witness and feel the adrenaline of someone getting off while she is being killed and the light goes out from her.
Well, that guy's a piece of shit.
He is the biggest piece of shit in the whole wide world. So Lenny watches it, he pulls it off, and he's like, what the actual fuck? Turns out the woman in the video her name is Iris. It was a friend of theirs. It was also the woman who was being pursued by the police. The woman who put another disc in his car. So they were friends with Iris. Iris was really close with Faith, his ex-girlfriend. And he sees this, he tells Mace. Mace is like, I'm not fucking watching this shit. She is like anti-squid. She's like, that shit is bad for your brain.
That would be me in the future.
She's like, absolutely the fuck not. That's bad for your brain. We're not doing this. So she's like, all right, whatever. And then they go over and they meet their friend Max, and he watches it. He was like in the middle of eating Chinese food, and he is like, well, there goes my appetite for the next 5 weeks. And I felt like that was a very like chill reaction for something that fucking terrible. Because I was aware that this was a film, and I was upset. Like, upset. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? So he's upset, and like he's like, well, there goes my appetite. And so they're trying to figure out where this disc came from. So they go, hold on, buffering. I think they go back to Faith to try to warn her, be like, hey, someone just fucking offed your friend. And she's like, you gotta leave. And like,
she's like mad at them for telling her?
She's
or
just
she's
mad
upset?
at him for like being present. She's like, I'm fine. I can handle myself. Like, you know, just leave.
I'm independent.
Yeah, exactly. What, like, you know, all of that shit. And then like her boyfriend comes in and he's like, yeah, you better get out of here. He's like, you know, she can make her choice. If she chooses to go with you, fine. If not, you need to leave her alone.
Bro's woke. Women have rights.
Don't forget, he's got a villain voice, so he's not exactly a nice guy. So like, and I'm telling this out of order. Please, just if you're interested in seeing this movie, just see it, because I'm fucking this up. So like, Lenny was like, all right, fucking fine, whatever, and he goes to leave, and then like it pans back, and then like the bad guy's like, he doesn't even realize that you did it for his own good, and she's like, blah, 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 blah. I don't even know what she said, but it was like some whiny bullshit. And then like,
woman talking.
And he slaps her across the face so hard that she falls to the ground. And then he was like, the only time a whore should have her mouth open is when she's sucking a dick. And I'm like, who wrote this? Like,
Oh my
and
god.
so like, and then it pans back to Lenny and his like, okay, we gotta figure out how this all happened. And like, they go over to Tick, and Tick was like, whoever did this is super fucked in the head, but also colorblind. You can see in this little quadrant here on the playback, whatever the fuck, that they can't see the color red. I don't know. And so we're going and we're like trying to investigate what all this is. And Tick said, did you get the disc from Iris? And he was like, well, no, what disc from Iris? I don't know what you're talking about. And he was like, yeah, she had me duplicate a disc for assurance, or fucking insurance rather. And she said she was gonna give it to you. And then he's like, she left me a message saying she was gonna put something in my car, but my car is an impound. So they just, you know, Scoob and the gang go to the impound lot. But it's actually only Mace and Lenny, and I'm pretty sure I missed a humongous chunk of this film, but whatever. So Mace and Lenny, so Angela Bassett and Voldemort, go to the impound lot to get this tape. And he pulls it out, and he gets rid of the note that says like, to Lenny, help me, or fucking whatever. Women writing. And they turn around, and those two zany cops are behind them. For why? For why are they there? And they're like, give me the disc. And he's like, what? And they're like, they pull out their guns, and they're like, give me the disc, bitch. And like, he's like, well, it's in my briefcase right here. Because he takes it everywhere. He takes his briefcase with the squid playback, whatever the fuck, and his little library of creepy girlfriend discs. That thing, it's his security blanket. It goes with him everywhere. I can understand the playback because now we're in an active, like, renegade investigation or fucking whatever. Which Max also said, cause he's like, I'll ask my cop buddies about this, that, and the other thing to see if we can figure this out. So we're trying to figure some stuff out. So he goes, he's like, okay, well, let me just open my case. And they're like, open it towards us because we want to see. I guess so that he wouldn't be like, you know, open up the case and like, haha, middle finger. Like, be like, I fooled you. You know, they were probably more concerned about a gun, but whatever. So he pulls out the disc and he gives it to them. And then they still aim to shoot him. But then, like, the impound lot guard dog is like, I'm a dog! And he runs out and he's like, nom, 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 nom. So
we don't deserve them.
like, this dog got maced. Like,
Aww.
Mace maced the dog because they were like, hey, the dog was like, I'm a dog. I'm supposed to guard these cars. You're trying to get in the car, but I'm a dog and this is my job. This is my dog job. I have a dog job. Are you employed, sir? And then, like, Mace was like, I do. And then, like, the dog was like, oh, my eyes. So, but now I guess the dog, like, cried it out a little bit over the course of 4.5 seconds. I don't know. If I was a dog, I'd be like, fuck this job, I quit. I'm gonna go do dog stuff, like poop over there. Like, is there a carpet I could shit on? Because I feel like now's a good time for that. I'm gonna go do dog stuff. But the dog was ever vigilant. He took his job seriously. So, you know, these guys, they pull out their guns, they're aiming, and the dog's like, no! And he goes and he chomps on him. He's like, nom, 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 nom. Delicious. And so Mace and Nero are like, peace! And they start running. And then they run and they get into Mace's car, which, you know, she's a bodyguard and a driver, so it's bullet resistant. And then he's like, bullet resistant? Isn't anything bulletproof anymore? And they're like, okay, well, just go, okay? Just go. And then she's driving and she's like maneuvering, and she's a fucking badass, and she's like, skirt, 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 skirt. But, like, you know, they're cops, so they're like fucking trained for pursuit. So they're like, we're right behind you, bitch. And we're like, how did you get past that dog? That dog numb-numbed. So they're behind them, and she's skirting, and skirt, 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 and then, like, you know, like, it's like brunette cop and blonde cop. It's the easiest way to fucking tell them apart. Brunette cop is the one from Law & Order Criminal Intent, and blonde cop is the one that was in one of the Batman films. So blonde cop is the passenger, and he's out the thing with a fucking automatic shooting at the fucking car, and we're like, how does nobody in LA notice this? It happens every day. I mean, there's also like riots happening because of the death of, I don't remember the name of the person.
MC Titties.
MC, you know what? That's better than whatever it really was. I think Jericho won. Yeah, MC Titties is better. We're gonna go with MC Titties. So like, you know, there's riots over the death of MC Titties and his, you know, words of wisdom. And so they're just like shooting and nobody cares. You know, I don't know if this is accurate to the times. If it was, anyone who lived in LA in 1995 through 1999, I'm sorry, thoughts and prayers. Cause yikes. Like, this was not fun. So they're driving and they're getting shot at, and then they get to the end of a pier and they're like, rut row, dead end. And they park and they're like, all right, fine, it's bulletproof, bullet resistant, whatever the fuck. But then like, they get boxed in by the cops. And the cops are in an unmarked car. It's actually like a civilian vehicle, it looks like. You know, it's like a fucking Chevy Suburban or something. Like, it's just like a regular fucking giant car. And so brunette cop comes out with gasoline. I don't know why he just had that. He just had gasoline
Just
lying
in
around.
case.
We just keep gasoline in cars because that's totally safe. You know, so he comes out with a gas canister and he fucking starts pouring it over the car that they're both in. And then they sit out back and they have guns. So they're waiting for them to exit the car as they throw a fucking safety torch and light the whole thing up. So Voldemort and Mama Black Panther are in the car. The car is on fire. Bad cops are right behind the car with guns. In front of the car is water. It's not looking great. Weighing their options, Mama Black Panther is like, hold on, bitch. And just fucking punches it to go off the edge of the pier into the water. So they extinguish the car, but now they're in the water. And the doors were all jammed when they were on land, you know, because they couldn't get out before the whole, like, hey, let's just, like, douse this in the gasoline that I had laying around in the back seat. Or maybe they had it in the front seat. Are there laws about that? Like wine? Like, you can't put wine in the front seat, but you could have it in the back seat? Like, is it
Something like that. That's
gasoline?
true.
Like,
I don't know about gasoline. I have no idea.
I mean, you gotta really be careful with drinking and driving.
Especially drinking gasoline.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm getting at. Yes. Like,
It's one hell of a drink.
Really, it hurts when it goes down. So they're in the water, and she's like, all right, well, let's get this shit out of the trunk or whatever. Like, you know, they work their way out. She gets hold on, it's fuzzy. She pops the trunk? I don't fucking know. They get into the trunk, whatever. She pops the trunk. She tries to, like, blow out the windows. It doesn't really work. She grabs a gun or anything. You know, Lenny grabs his security blanket.
Oh, God.
He's got his blankie. He's got his little... I think he has his briefcase. And, they get out. They get out of the car. They do nice, good swimmies. And then they're hiding under the pier. As the bad cops are like, well, they're dead, and they leave.
Done and
they're
done.
like, all right, that was easy, and I have the disc. And so they finally resurface, and Mace is like, man, it's a real shame that you had to give him the disc. And he was like, yeah, it was one of my favorites. It was Faith and I in the hot tub on my birthday. And we're like, whoa, he did a switcherooski. So that wasn't the disc that was in the car. He put that in his coat jacket. He had it the whole time. So they watched the disc that was in the car. Rewind. First, they go to someone else's house. So Mace, Nero was like, Mace, you gotta get your family, everyone that's at your house, get them out, because they're going to run the plates. They're going to find out where you live. They're going to make sure that this job is finished. So she goes back, she gets her son and, like, I guess her sister or something. And she's like, we're going to cousin, whatever the fuck's house. And, there's a party at that house. So there's like a bazillion people there, but then they get the kids situated and they sit in the kitchen, and Nero replays that disc. That disc starts off with, you know, a woman in the car. The person driving is MC Titties. So it's footage of him, and there's like another recording artist and another woman there. And they're driving, and they're driving, and they're not driving like aggressively. They're just driving normally. They're just taking a drive at night. They're in a convertible Jeep, and the cops are going to pull them over. So there's sirens behind them, and he's like, "What the fuck? This is crazy." And he's like, "Just pull over." And he keeps driving. He's like, "It can't be me. I'm not doing anything." And they pull over in like this fucking like abandoned lot. Of course they do. And so, you know, everybody out of the car, put your hands where I could see them. And, you know, MC Titties is like, "I wasn't fucking doing anything. What the fuck's wrong with you?" And like, he's, you know, got this bravado because he's like he's a social justice, you know, person. I don't want to call him a social justice warrior because I feel like that's like now a term made for like fucking like shitheads on the internet. You know, but he's like a huge figure in that field, or in that arena, and he's also like a platinum selling artist. So he's like, "What are you gonna do, bitch? Like, are you gonna arrest me for doing nothing? My lawyers will chew you up and spit you out. They love spending my money. Let them at it. Like, they will fucking destroy you. Like, just let us go." And the cops are like, "Well, you think you could just drag LAPD through the mud?" And he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, fuck yeah, I can. You know what? Actually, yeah, do better." So they shoot him. Yeah. And then they shoot the other guy that was in the car and the other girl that was in the car, and Iris is the one taking this footage. She runs like hell. She runs and runs and runs, and that's why they were trying to fucking kill her. Is because she saw something that she really should not have seen. Mostly because it should not have happened. So now she has this footage, this first-person perspective footage of these two very, very dirty cops doing something that caused riots. Like, you know, that would be like having the footage of like, you know, whoever fucking killed like I don't know, fucking anybody. Like, I don't want to misspeak because I'm poorly informed in the world. I feel like whoever killed Martin Luther King, I don't fucking know. I don't know. So Lenny takes this off and he's like, "Mace, you need to see this." And she's like, "No." And he's like, "No, you need to see this." And she's like, "No." And then he was like, "I can't tell you what's on this. You need to see this." And she sees it and she's like, "This could destroy the world." Like, so they have this footage and they try to take it back to Tick, you know, in his little van in a fucking alley to see how, like, what they can do with it. Right. Tick is not dead, but he's not responsive. So someone had put a playback on him through an amplifier, fried his fucking brain. So, and then we have like Max is there like, "Oh yeah, no, they amplified it, they fried his brain, you know, you really don't want to get this out in the open because, you know, it's gonna, like, there's gonna be blood in the streets, you want that on you, not to mention all of the cops that are gonna be looking for you for letting this out." So he's just kind of like, "It is what it is, just let it lie, whatever." So now we're coming up on like this, I believe it's New Year's Eve. It's like the longest New Year's Eve in the history of the universe. And Lenny is basically like, it's bad guy voice. He's the one who did this. He's the one who had MC Titties killed. He's the one who had Iris killed to cover up his tracks. It has to be him. We gotta go save Faith. And Mace is like, "Fuck that bitch. She made her choice. Fuck you. Fuck this. Fuck everything. We need to get this shit to the goddamn news." And he's like, "Or I can use it as collateral to get my ex-girlfriend back." And she was like, "You are not important enough for that. She is not important enough for that. I am not important enough for that. What we have here is so important. We cannot use it as currency. If you use this as currency, I swear to fucking God, you motherfucker." So she's really just like poof. And then he was like, "Do you know what it feels like to love somebody and not have them love you back?" And then she looks at him longingly and we're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
No. Boo.
Yeah,
Tomato.
Yeah. So I was like,
he's stupid. Why do you like this guy? I would have lost all attraction for him if
like,
he's like, my ex-girlfriend.
I'd be like, seriously, you have a whole fucking catalog of discs from when you were together, you sad, sad soul.
Put your dick in my hand right now because I'm throwing it out.
I'm throwing it out. You don't get it anymore. No. You don't get to have
this. You want
like,
this?
like, wiggly. So was like, we really need to go there. We need to go there. So there's this big New Year's party at Club S&M, S&M Depot or fucking whatever. And apparently they live in a penthouse all the way up that building. So, I mean, it's convenient, really. So they get into the club and they're trying to find her to try to like save her. And then like, bad guy villain voice, his cronies see him and he's like, I told you to get lost. And they're chasing him through. And then like they get to a crux where Mace is like, what the fuck are you gonna do? And then he gives Mace the disc. And he's like, that's the commissioner of LAPD. He is one of the most tight-ass motherfuckers. He's the one that discharged me. We still don't know why. But he was like, if there is a straight arrow in the group, it's this guy. Get the disc to him. He's like, I'm gonna go save my ex-girlfriend.
Oh my god, I hate him. I hate him.
I know. So then like it cuts and we see ex-girlfriend, Juliette Lewis Faith with villain voice, and she's going up an elevator and he's like, I'll come back to you to ring in the new year. And she's like, I'm so excited. Like, it's like, okay, fucking whatever. So she's up in the penthouse, she's guarded or whatever. And then he goes and he mingles at the party. And so like Lenny's trying to like fucking get to his girlfriend. And then like, he was like, Max, I need your help. And Max was like, great, I'll create a diversion. So he goes and he talks to bad guy villain voice or whatever. And then we see Mace follow the commissioner into the men's room. And he's like, my guy. And the commissioner's like, if it wasn't New Year's, you would be arrested right now. And she's like, I just need you to see this tape. You need to watch this tape. You need to watch this right now. And she gives him the playback squid and the tape, and they escort her out of the men's room. And she's like defeated. She's like, well, I got nowhere with this. And she's walking through the crowd, and then like, bad guy villain voices thugs are like chasing her through, and then she gets out, and then she locks eyes with brunette bad cop. And then she's like, well, fuck. And then she's weaving through this huge crowd. It's New Year's in the streets of LA, so there's people everywhere. She probably would have gotten by faster if she just crowd surfed. If she would have been like, yup, like, like up and over. And she's in this beautiful dress, and she looks so pretty, and she's running through. And then they are going through the crowd, and they have their batons. They're fucking just beating people to get through. Because, I mean, really, their morals have been gone for a very long time. So, they're beating, and, like, they corner her, and then they start hitting her with the baton, and she's a fucking she's a bodyguard, so she's like, pfft. And then he grabs it, and then she hits them, and then she manages to get them handcuffed together, and then handcuffed to, like, a scaffolding. And she's like, don't you fucking move, don't, like, whatever. And then the other cops around the area catch on, and they're all in like riot gear, and a bunch of them start beating her because the bad cops are like, no, she's the reason for this. She's the problem. She did this. And I mean it's true, she did fucking handcuff him to a scaffold and try to beat the shit out of him. But they start beating the shit out of her. Like, they're in full riot gear. She is in a dress. That's all she has. She's in a dress. And, they're beating the shit out of her. And then this, like, adolescent black boy is like, fucking stop hitting her. And then just jumps on the back of one of the police officers. And then, like, a whole fucking riot breaks out at that point. And there's just, like, chaos on the streets and all of that crap. And all of a sudden, it stops. And the police commissioner is coming through, and brunette bad cop is like, it's her. She did this. Get her. What are you doing? Shoot her. And he, the commissioner is like, these two men are under arrest for murder. So he watched the tape. Mm-hmm. And he's arresting bad cop 1 and 2. And as they're pulling them off of the scaffolding, bad cop, blonde bad cop, the one in Batman, gets loose, pulls a gun, aims it at Angela Bassett, and then turns it on himself, barrel in the mouth, shoots himself. He's still handcuffed to brunette bad cop, who then takes the gun, drags his dead buddy as he advances on Angela Bassett and goes to try to shoot her, but he is then shot down. I am skipping a spot. Whatever, doesn't matter. Time isn't linear. And so then he gets shot down, and that kind of concludes that. I fucked up in not telling you about what Lenny was doing, because Lenny was with Mace when this happened. So, we're gonna just rewind a little bit. Lenny gets to the top of the penthouse. The guard is on the floor. The door is ajar. Ruh-roh, somebody cooked here. He gets in, and there's a disc, a playback disc, with his name on it. Who the fuck knew he was gonna be there? So he plays it, and I was like, you're really gonna put that on your... Hey, no, not you. Like, you're really gonna put that on your head after you see what happened to Tick? Like, Tick put on a thing and it fried him. Why would you put that on that? Why are you putting that on your head? He puts it on his head. He's fine. I mean, you know, he's the main character. He's gonna be fine.
Maybe it's my girlfriend fucking me again.
Right. Maybe it's that hot tub video I lost. Like, so he puts it on, and then you see a pair of hands in white gloves, similar to the first one, breaking into this room and advancing on Juliette Lewis's character, who turns around and says, hey, I didn't know you were coming. So she knows whoever the fuck left this. She's not surprised, she's not scared. And then similar things start to happen in this video, where he restrains her, he throws her on the bed, he ties her to the bed, he puts on the thing, and then the playback and the stuff, and then, you know, he rapes her, but she's enjoying it.
Oh.
So, you know, at first I'm just like watching it, I'm like, wait a second. I don't understand. Because those she's no longer distressed. You could tell she's not distressed, but it's subtle. But so you're just kind of like, wait.
Buddy's girlfriend is a freak.
Like, what am I seeing? So then, you know, that finishes. And the person wearing the squid takes off everything and said, like, you know, I didn't hurt you, did I? And she was like, no, of course not. I love you, Max. And then he turns over and he sees himself in the mirror, and it's Max. It's Nero's best friend, the one that was supposed to be helping him find the bad guy who killed Iris. Mm-hmm. And then bad guy villain voice comes in and catches them in the act. Goes to pull his gun, and then he, like, I don't know how, Max overpowers him or something and puts on the playback and fries his brain or something. And so Lenny is watching this. When he takes it off, Max is behind him. And now this is part with all of the exposition. This is all of everything that happened. This is the summary of the whole film. At this point, I was like, okay, we could stop now. Like it was a good movie, but I was like, oh my God. So he goes through the whole, like, how this came to be. So bad guy villain voice had hired Max to follow Faith, because he was having all of his artists followed. That is why MC Titties had footage. He took one of his hookers, essentially, and had her follow this artist. He then had her killed because he didn't want any loose ends. He didn't want any of his other artists to find out that this guy wasn't trusting them. So, like, all of his artists are being followed, and he didn't want them to find out, so he just was like, all right, let's just tie this up. I have the disc, it's fine. He didn't count on there being a second disc. So Max then started following Faith from Villain Voice, but they already knew each other because Max was friends with Nero, who dated Faith. So, like, you know, Faith, Max is like, do you like being watched? And she's like, oh my God, yes, I acquired the taste from Lenny. And so it's like, all right, cool, you're an exhibitionist, we get it. Like, it's trying so hard to be so edgy. Like, I feel like 1995 would be like, oh my stars, if it was like today. Like, I feel like if 1995 was a person and then was transported to today with like OnlyFans and all that garbage, they'd be like, clutching pearls, like, yeah. My lord. Oh,
wait till you see Bonnie Blue.
Like, fucking seriously. Like, you know, you think that this is edgy? Are you kidding me? Like, whoa. So, you know, so they're going through the whole thing, and then they're like, how they fell in love and all of this stuff. And, like, you know, obviously Voldemort's like heartbroken because he's like, but my ex-girlfriend, you clearly don't love me.
Faithless. Like, unfaithful.
And then, like, you know, then bad guy villain voice was like, you know what, just just kill Faith. And then he was like, well, I didn't want to lose Faith. Ha ha, play on words. Like, that's literally part of the script. I didn't want to lose Faith. Play on words. So, and then he says my notable quote, nobody gives a shit about a dead hooker. So, he, with Iris being dead and all of that shit. So instead of killing Faith, he was like, all right, well, I'll just kill you. And then Lenny was like, so you set this all up so it looked like I fried his brain with the squid. And he's like, yep. And then he was like, and that I then shot him. And then Max was like, and yourself. Because he had prints on the gun that he was going to use because he has the gloves on. So, he was going to frame Lenny for all of this bullshit. And then Faith comes in, like, during exposition story time. And he was like, baby, you're not supposed to be here. And she's like, I know, I just couldn't keep away. It's like,
the way.
I know, like, so it started off so strong that I needed spoilers. And then, like, at the end, it was just, like, tepid. So, and then he's like, well, now I'm gonna finish what I started. And then he points the gun at Lenny, and then Faith is like, oh my god, no! And then, like,
oh my god, this bitch!
She is not decisive.
I hate you.
She's not decisive. And then, like, she wrestles him for the gun, and then he drops the gun, and then it's like fight scene. And I was like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, this is the end of the movie, right? Like, come on. So they're fighting, and then he's like, oh, you fucking bitch, and, like, elbows her, and then she's unconscious on the floor, and it's like, well, I thought you just said that you loved her. Like, you just think. And I'm like, I see, this men will do anything. Yep. So you always be careful, stay vigilant, ladies.
You mean nothing to them, okay?
Nothing. Especially if there's a fight to be had. You are collateral damage. So they're fighting, and oh god, then Lenny gets the upper hand, and then Max gets the upper hand, and then the tug of war, the push and pull, and then Max takes out his pocket knife, and he stabs Lenny in the back, and it's like cinema. Your best friend stabbed you in the back, both figuratively and literally. Ooh. And I was like, oh my god. Like, and then, Lenny's like, I didn't know you were colorblind, Max. And then Max was like, well, you had to be to deal with your stupid ties, because he wore stupid ties. Like, he wore, like, a cravat. And I was like, oh my god. This is in the middle of a fucking fight. Like, what are we doing?
Nice dig, Max.
Like, ow, ouch, burn.
And I fucked your girlfriend.
Right, like, really? Like, I mean, that probably he would have just yeeted himself off the building. He'd be like, you didn't have to say it again. And, they're like, into the penthouse, so it's the top. So then Max throws Lenny out the fucking door, and he's like, shatters the door. There's glass everywhere. So he's got a fucking knife in his back, and there's glass everywhere. And now they're on the balcony fighting. And it's like, oh, great, this is higher stakes, because there's quite a drop. And then they're fighting, and then Max goes to throw Lenny over the thing, but then he pulls, like, a switcheroo, much like how Simba and Nala did in the fucking Lion King, where they're like, I'm gonna pounce on you, but just kidding. You flipped it, and I don't know how that happened, because I'm a ninja. So then, they flip it, and then now Max is hanging off the edge, and he's, like, hanging on by Lenny's tie. And he's like, well, I'm gonna take you down with me, ha 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 ha. And I'm like, you are awfully fucking giddy for a guy hanging off the side of a fucking building. And then oh god, it's so painful. He reaches back, oh god, and then he takes the knife out of his shoulder. Oh god, it hurts so bad, it's so tough. And then he cuts the tie, and Max falls to his death. And then, Lenny just skadoodles. I don't know how he just got out there so fucking easy. He's just like, all right, well, he just leaves. And that's when he meets back up with Mace, who was in the middle of a fucking riot. And then they both saw brunette cop get shot. I think Lenny caught a stray bullet or something. So now they're back together. We knew what happened with both of them individually. I am so sorry. That was terrible storytelling. I am not a director. So they're wrapping it up, and, Mace has, like, one teeny tiny cut on her forehead after being, like, bludgeoned by 6 cops in riot gear. And, like, Lenny was grazed by a bullet, and they're like, get this guy an ambulance. And, like, I'm watching this like, what? Like, she's gotta have some broken bones. Like, a rib or something. I don't know.
No, she's a woman, and she's black, so she's invulnerable
she's
to any
fine.
kind of... Yeah, that's right.
So, and then they're like, all right, well, the commissioner's like, well, we're going to need you to take you downtown for questioning. And she's like, okay. So she's in the back of the cop car, and he's getting patched up by the ambulance. And then, 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year. Oh my God. Yep. Yup. So then he cuts up and he pulls her out of the car, and then they kiss, and then it's the end of the film.
Wait. And when you say they kiss, you mean Lenny and Mace.
Yep.
Good. Because if he kissed Faith, I would have flipped this.
No, I
table.
think she ended up getting apprehended. She's going downtown. You see her in the back of a cop car, like, looking like, oh,
I should have let Max kill you.
Yeah, like, oh, don't you remember how I saved your life? Like, so, she's, like, looking away, like, longingly, like, oh. And then that's it. That's the movie.
Wow.
That was the movie.
All I could think of was that, like, these squid things are, like, the biggest ops.
Yeah.
Like, all I can think about is Joey Pesci being like, hey, take your fucking hat off. I gotta see if there's a squid under there.
Well, they're gonna take your fucking hair off. Like,
Yeah,
that's how we found out that Max, the one that looked like his little fork in the outlet. And during the fight, his hair comes off. It's another squid thing. So all of that exposition was on video. Sorry, that was a very important detail. But he had a squid on, so all of it was recorded. And I mean, it also further shows that he's the one doing this. But yeah, it was under his tube.
Wow. Never trust anybody with a tube or bad hair, clearly.
Scalp or nothing.
Howie Mandel, you're safe.
That's right. He's not recording your ass. Just watch those meta glasses. I feel like that would be the closest thing now to what that shit was trying to be. But like you could tell when someone's got fucking meta glasses on. Like,
yeah, big fucking SpongeBob glasses.
Those fucking jellyfishing glasses. Yeah. But yeah, that was the film. And they kiss at like 12:02 in the morning on 1/1/2000.
Nice.
That's how they ring in Y2K.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a time. Like I said, I feel like I watched it in 2 parts, but I feel like both parts were very long.
I love how both of our movies had aliens in it. Like, just low-key.
Kind of.
I mean, are the squid things, like, they have to be aliens,
No,
right?
it's tech. It looks like a face hugger, but it's not. It's just basically a bunch of, like, wires and shit.
Oh, see, I haven't seen this movie, so that's
Yeah.
not what I was imagining at all.
Yeah.
I'm literally thinking of, like, like a mini Davy Jones, like a little
Oh,
little
no.
thing.
It was really just, like, if you could imagine the prop department modeled it after a rib cage,
Oh.
painted it gold, and stuck a bunch of shitty wires underneath. And, like, the nodes are supposed to stick into your scalp. Now, when you have a brain scan done, they, like, scrub your scalp, and they really fucking get in there. But this just, like, rests on top of your scalp. And it can somehow transmit all of your brain crap through your hair.
Huh.
'Cause, that would be a problem, too. That would definitely interfere. But no, it just kind of looks like a gilded rib cage with, like, wiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our movies are actually just more about selfish men.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes. Yes.
Nice.
Feminism!
Woo!
Yeah, so that was my movie. It was a time.
Yeah, it sounds like a time.
There was a time, yeah.
Yeah, that's a Superman movie. Like
It was a dude movie for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, I didn't hate it, but by the time I got to the end, I'm like, oh my god, just go. Just be done. Just enough.
I feel like your movie is the movie that men want to see, and my movie is a movie that men need to see. Like,
yes.
yes.
Men, you have homework.
You have homework.
You can reward yourself with my movie after you've watched her movie.
Damn.
Yeah. But that's what I got.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Another great episode here at...
So I saw a movie. I saw it. I did. I saw it in parts, but I saw it. I didn't see your movie. I want to now.
I also want to see your movie, which I don't feel that way about dude movies, but...
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Plug.
Yeah. That's where you can find it, guys.
Alright, well, we have tacos to go eat, so...
Yeah.
Bye!
Bye! Fuck yeah, don't leave me hanging. Oh my god, this is so sad. Sorry.